Hello, Dan Lyle here from lylepublishing.com. I'm the owner and founder. And also I am the originator of something called Creative-TheologyTM. And I'd like to briefly tell you how that this might help you or your congregation solve big spiritual problems and move closer to God. First of all, why would a new religious movement, emphasis, or awareness even be needed? Aren't there enough spiritual platforms in the world that are available to anyone already? Well, you'd think that the numerous time-honored religious and spiritual frameworks would dramatically improve the world and help the world be better and healthier. Yet, disturbingly, an objective outside look at this often shows the opposite. Why? Well, sadly, instead of spiritual enlightenment, there's often substituted mindless repetition. Instead of enthusiasm, you often see boredom. Instead of a continual forward movement towards God, there's often stagnation. Instead of people helping each other use their God-given talents, there's often suppression of those very same abilities and capabilities. Instead of building each other up, the emphasis often, sadly, is in tearing each other down. Instead of mutual support and edification, one often sees conflict, fighting, separation, and even war. Creative theology is a new religious movement, which I claim takes a major step forward in the spiritual development of mankind, and that effectively promotes all of the positives that I just stated rather than the negatives. It can be practiced happily on its own, or it can also happily complement existing religious frameworks. In other words, a person can be a creative theologist on its own merits, or can be a creative theologist and also still be a firm believer, practitioner, and member of one's own traditional religion. For instance, I am a creative theologist and a Christian. Christianity is my traditional faith in which I've been raised from a baby. I believe in and follow the teachings of Jesus. And yet, I also believe that Jesus Christ, if he were to miraculously appear right now, in this video, in the flesh, with me and with you there, that he would heartily endorse creative theology. In fact, I think that he would say, Dan, you really understand what I was teaching. And I support that supposition with 11 books that I've written that you're welcome to take a look at. The first of them is called The Real Jesus, a creative theologist worthy of being followed. And the other 10 books are fictional lectures by Jesus to his followers today based very closely on a number of New Testament passages in which Jesus is promoting various key aspects of creative theology. Similarly, I believe that the founders of the other great historical religions in the world, those that today have millions or billions of followers, that if they could be present right here with me in the flesh and with you right now, I believe they would also enthusiastically endorse creative theology. Why is that? Because creative theology is not about who's right and who's wrong. It is not about making the correct list of do's and don'ts. It's not about making sure that everybody believes the same. It's not about participating in the same rituals, ceremonies, or traditions over and over again. It's not about politely sitting and listening to lectures on topics that people of that particular faith already know perfectly well. Rather, creative theology is about how to best help each other use our God-given talents together to the glory of God, thus moving us ever closer to God, not just in terms of our beliefs, but in terms of our joyful collective actions. As such, creative theology is an enabling methodology that any person or group can use to enhance the expression of their collective actions, to help their talents work together, all within their existing religious framework. Now, at this moment, you may be thinking, well, those are some very clever, intriguing words that Dr. Lau just said, but we don't need it. Why? Because we're perfectly fine just as we are. Now, if that's truly the case, then I reply, God bless you. Thank you for listening to my short video, and stop wasting your time here. Goodbye. You don't need this. But if you are not where you'd like to be in terms of your success, either religiously or spiritually, either in regards to yourself or to the group that you are part of, then please consider the value that's possible to you of spending just a few more minutes listening to some of my other short videos that explain how creative theology might help you or your group with specific problems. These videos are listed on my Creative Theology homepage, which is at lylepublishing.com/creative-theology.htm. You will find a list there, and you can select from that list one or more videos on particular problems that are of interest to you. Now, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you may contact me directly by sending me an email to danlyle@lylepublishing.com. I look forward to hearing from you if you wish, and and I thank you for viewing my introductory Creative Theology video.